Hi, Erin. How are you?
Hi, good. How you doing today?
Good. I love your hair straight, actually. It looks
Thank you. A little
great.
change, little change. My mom got me for Christmas. Oh yeah, Happy New Year, right?
Happy New
Happy New Year.
Year!
But
Holy
I
crap.
I didn't see my mom on Christmas, but we saw each other a little bit after, and she got me this like Olaplex kit, which
Mm.
makes it nice. So I tried it out. Nice and
We'd like
shiny.
a
Straight.
Olaplex as a sponsor here.
I
Just give
know
us a call.
we should get Olaplex as a
I
sponsor.
like their dry shampoo. I haven't used any of their
Oh.
other products, but your hair looks nice and
Yeah,
shiny and
I
healthy.
really love their products with our fabulous hair.
Oh, hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Anyway,
Well, I'm glad sometimes we have the podcast so I actually wear makeup and do my hair because your girl was looking a little broke this week. I've been going to bed at 7 PM. I'm not joking. 7 PM. I went to bed at 7 PM last night. I woke up at 4 AM this morning.
wow.
It's kind of like a sickness because, like, I also quit drinking.
Yeah.
It's been over 3 weeks. I feel
Wow.
amazing. I
That's
love
great.
it. Yeah, I feel awesome.
I
It's
bet.
true, though, that I'm getting great sleep, but I wake up I'm on this weird schedule where I'm going to bed super early and waking up super early,
Yeah.
and I love it, but it's not conducive to having a social life at all.
Yeah, but I think for a while, especially in the wintertime, it's nice to hibernate, and I think it's
Mm,
really great to get up early. It's so peaceful, and you can get in
yeah,
your, like, morning meditation and your coffee and then go for a nice walk with Ziggy, like, amazing, yeah.
exactly. That's what I love
It's a
is
great
just, yeah, that quiet time and trying
Mhm.
to do more journaling and meditation and all of those good things that we've talked about. And a lot of reading. I just finished 1,000-page book. I'd read it in like 3 weeks
Oh
too,
my
because I'm like,
god! What book was it?
so we talked about it last time. It's A Little Life. I mean, it's
Oh.
like 900 pages or something. And I was about halfway through, I think, when we talked about it last time. And I recommended it. And it really is like a really great book. But
Yeah.
I will say though that the story is like quite horrifying
Oh.
and really like heart-wrenching and
Oh.
sad. I mean, it's basically about four friends that meet in college and follow them through life and talk about their friendship and their stories and their own families and things like that. And it kind of centers around one specific character. But yeah, there are parts of it that are really hard to read.
Wow. Sounds really
Forewarning on
interesting.
that
Okay. You gotta be in the right mind frame, right?
yeah, I mean, just to think that it is fiction, but to think that this really could be the
It's
story of someone's life is really, really, really hard to conceptualize. But good book, though. I ordered four more books that I'll share, but basically, I go off Dua Lipa's book club
Oh,
list.
okay, that's cool. I will check that out.
Another really good book I read was The God of the Woods by Liz Moore. That's a really good. You would really like that book.
Okay. The God of the Woods. I'll check it out.
hmm So, did you eat your grapes? Let's
Oh
talk
my
about that little
oh my
tradition for a second.
Yeah, so I don't know, is it just a Spanish tradition, or do you think they do it all through, like, like, Italy, Greece, that type of stuff? I don't know. I've only heard about it
I don't know.
in
Let's see.
Spain, but
I'll Google it while
yeah,
you tell
Google
us
it
about
while
it.
I explain it a little bit. So on New Year's Eve here, you're supposed to eat 12 grapes. They have 12 bells right before the new year hits, and each bell you're supposed to eat a grape. But so Jose bought the grapes this year, right? And they came like in a little package of 12, and so we're all ready. We start eating them and realize they're really big. Like they were
Oh
really
no.
big grapes, so we could not like I couldn't get all 12 of them. And they
Is it
say
every
every
second?
well, it's not a second, it's a little longer than a second, but it's not very long. So you're like, "Gong," and you eat 1, and then "Gong," and then you eat 2, so maybe a second and a half or something, but they're
Yeah.
usually a little bit smaller, and they actually say on the news, they, like, warn you about choking hazards and stuff like that, and I was like, "Oh my god,
Really?
we're all gonna
Okay, so
have."
it's on at midnight, right? When the
It's
gong
right
starts?
before midnight, so at the last
Right
gong,
before.
that's midnight,
Midnight.
like, and Happy
You're
New
like,
Year. Yeah,
"Sharpen."
and everybody's cheeks are full of grapes, you're like, "Happy New Year," and, like, with your champagne.
It's such an interesting tradition that is particular to Spain. I'm seeing here on Google that also some Latin American countries, maybe the
Oh,
Philippines,
okay.
some people in Italy. Yeah, but it is a huge ritual that they do in Spain right before midnight. I think one year I did it and I had the worst year of my life and I was like, I'm never doing this again.
We're eating grapes again. Sucks.
I know. It's like there's something going around on TikTok or Instagram about the grapes and eating them under a table. Have you seen that?
No.
It's
What did
like
we do?
trying to verify if eating the 12 grapes right before midnight under a table is going to give me like the best luck or something. I don't know. I've seen a couple videos. I don't know what's going on with the algorithm.
Yeah, that's really weird. And why under a table? Like,
I
I
don't
guess
know about the table thing.
mm. Yeah, so
So you ate the
ate the
grapes.
grapes. Yeah.
I was asleep.
You fell asleep. What time did you fall asleep?
I went to bed at 8,
So
but
it's good. I
it's
think that's
like,
good.
yeah, I'm really enjoying just not really drinking, doing daytimey stuff,
Yeah.
and working on my vision board.
Yay! Oh my god, that's so cool. Okay, so you gotta take us through it, cause
Okay.
yeah.
I mean, it's probably backwards for you, but I have a section, I have them by section.
Okay.
This section is like mind and body health. So, all the things we already know, like sauna and wellness and not drinking and taking care of my chronic back pain. I have a little picture. It's like less sugar. All that. And then I had like these I don't know, you can have pictures, cutouts, phrases, you could draw. I had these little like, from the yogi teas, they give you the like quotes and I had
Yeah.
saved them over last year and some of them kind of like fit into the category. So,
Oh, such
yeah,
good.
that's a big one for me. Obviously, career and work and
Career.
success.
Yeah.
Basically, like career goals
Yeah.
is a work in progress. I just said like financial stability. I had a car here because I was just like, that means you're rich, but I need to get more. So it's not
Yeah,
finished.
you gotta fill that one in more. Yeah, for sure, but
Yeah.
it's a good start. Good start.
Yeah. Like I have like the coaching program that I'm thinking about.
Yeah, that would be amazing if you did that.
Maybe thinking about like not like financial wellness, but like not thinking so much about my career taking over my life. And then this is my future house, just pictures. I'll fill it in with like more decorative stuff because that's a
Yeah.
long-term goal. I'm not sure if it will happen. And then here is adventure and leisure. And look, right here it says Aaron's 50th birthday.
Oh my god.
Question mark.
It's a question mark,
What's
yeah.
that adventure? Italy? Question mark. And then I have like some bucket list places. And then this is a big one, which is my future husband.
Oh, and who's that? Is that a picture of somebody or is it just a random
Just
guy
a
like
cowboy that's hot.
nice, everybody likes a hot cowboy.
So my future ideal partner, and then these are his like characteristics. I need to like probably work in some other things. And then this last one is miscellaneous. I haven't done any work on it, but basically just things that, podcasting is here. I need to draw a little
Yeah,
picture. Volunteering. I don't know. I guess music and concerts could go under leisure, but learning something new, I don't know. Just miscellaneous. So yeah, girl, just trying to envision my future.
amazing. It's the best thing to do for a new year, to get it kicked off,
Yeah.
started right.
Yeah, I try to do when I meditate and stuff, I'm doing a challenge right now, which is setting daily intentions, but there is some visualization ones which I like, which is really thinking about something you want in your future and like, giving it details and visualizing
Mhm.
it. And so I'm hoping if I do that enough, then maybe all
I
my
really
dreams will
like
come true.
that. Like, I like that idea, and I've tried
Yeah.
to do it, but I have this, like, block in my brain that says, "Well, that's never gonna happen." Like, you know what I mean? Like, you start thinking
Yeah.
about it, and you're like, "Oh my god, well, now that's ridiculous." And so I was just like, but I can't get past that. I need to figure out a way
Hmm.
to, like,
Maybe you
you
could
know
think of it in smaller terms. It's not
Yeah.
like the big picture of it, but
Mhm.
just something simple where it might start,
Yeah,
you
like
know?
the beginning of it, or I don't know. I gotta get more into that, though, because I do like
Like
the idea of it.
we are going to have a guest on next time.
Mhm.
And he's actually one of my longtime friends that I met in Bilbao teaching. But yeah, we'd love to hear from other people that are not in our inner circle for
Yeah.
sure. Today, we are just discussing one of our favorite topics, which is really what we kind of started off with the grape eating, which is traditions, different traditions in different countries. And especially since we both lived in Spain, the different traditions that we have and daily practices and those random things, but also like Christmas and Halloween equivalent and
Yeah.
like some of the bigger things that happen that were really new to us, you know? What do you want to share first, Aaron?
Well, I
Anything that
think
surprised you?
because, like, we just got through Christmas and you brought up Christmas, like, it is really different here. Christmas goes on for, like, 10 days. I don't know how many days it goes on for.
So long.
It starts, like, on the 24th is a huge day, and it goes
Hmm.
through, like, the 6th of
Noche buena.
January. I mean, there are lunches and dinners and presents, and people are on vacation, like, the whole time, so there's this feeling of, like, everybody's, excited and happy, but, it's, like, kind of enough at the end because you've eaten so much and had, like, so much to drink. Even if you don't drink a lot, every time you drink, it's like every day you're having, like, a glass of wine, 2 glasses of wine, and, like
Yeah, and in Spain, like, people go out on Christmas Eve, which is
Yeah,
really different. I mean, normally in the States, you go home to visit your family and you
yeah,
chill and you have dinner, but people in Spain go out. They go out for cañas, they have dinner, and then they go
yeah,
out for copas
exactly, like,
after on.
before and after, yeah.
Mhm,
I mean,
mhm.
the
Noche
atmosphere
buena, yeah.
before because so they have a huge dinner on the 24th. It's almost bigger
Mhm.
than the 25th. Like, the dinner on the 24th is, like, this huge dinner. So, before dinner, everybody goes out to the center and has, like you said, like, beer, wine, just a couple, and then they go home, have dinner, and then the friends, go out. All the bars open up again, and, like,
Yeah,
friends will go out and
I
celebrate.
know,
Yeah.
and everyone's hungover on Christmas
Yeah.
Day.
Christmas
And
Day.
and the food is different. The food, the typical I do remember, from having different boyfriends and eating with their family on Christmas would be like, you'd always have the picoteo, like really good ham,
Yeah,
really
yeah.
good cheese. You'd have prawns, the langostinos,
Yeah, do you wanna talk about the
asparagus.
goulash? The real
Oh
goulash?
gosh, you talk about the goulash.
The real ones, not the fake ones.
No, I don't. I never had the real ones.
Disgusting, and they're so expensive. I think they're like
Mm,
1,000 euros per kilo of goulash, like, it's
man. Yeah, they're
ridiculous.
expensive now, I guess.
So
Yeah,
goulash
they
are
were
baby
like,
eels, right, or something? Or I don't
are they baby
they're
eels?
like
Yeah,
little
I think
baby
so.
eels or something, right?
I like the fake kind. I ate that
Yeah,
for a little while.
put them on your salad or whatever, they do that, yeah.
Ooh, now it sounds disgusting,
Yeah,
but
I didn't really like
goulas, also I found it really interesting because my ex-husband, I remember his mother would, put basically lamb, an entire thing in the oven to cook. Lamb is a really big thing.
it
Yeah,
is, yeah.
people eat a lot of lamb. Yeah, and then Christmas, people wake up and they go have morning wine
Mhm.
before the Christmas lunch. Talk about hair of the dog.
Yeah, so they go out and have a couple glasses of wine or beer or whatever. Mimosas are not really a thing here. I know in the States
No.
people would probably go out and get a mimosa or Bloody Mary or something, but that's not a thing. So people just drink, wine and beer at noon.
Yeah. When we talked about it in another episode, especially in the Basque Country, it's very common on Sundays in general to go around like 10 or 11 to
Mhm.
the plaza, like the town square and Casco Viejo, and have a Marianito, which is like vermouth with like an olive and a
Yeah.
splash of gin, or a red wine or a white wine, and have like a little gilda, like we talked about the gildas in Mercado de Bilbao. But that's a really, really common thing on Sundays.
Yeah, it's really fun. Yeah, it's a good
Mhm.
atmosphere.
And then you're supposed to go home and eat and take a nap.
Yeah, that's
I
the
will
idea.
say,
Yeah.
sometimes I didn't go home.
Sometimes some people don't go home.
I'm
Other
like,
people go.
"Dun, dun,
Yeah.
dun, 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 let's stay out on a Sunday," which is like, you can Sundays are hard to not have fun,
Yeah.
Sunday fun day.
Yeah, definitely. And then I guess it goes until I said like it goes until the 6th of January because here they celebrate, well, they say Dia de los Reyes, but it's really like the three wise men,
Mhm.
you
The
know?
Three Kings,
Or
isn't
three
it?
well, but we call them the three wise men, but they're kings, right? That went to go see
They
Jesus
say
or whatever.
Reyes, yeah.
Yeah, they say Reyes, so that's why here in Spain we say it's King's Day or whatever, but really, like, if you talk about it in biblical terms, they're the three wise men that went
Mm.
to go see the baby Jesus, baby Jesus.
Bible Jesus. Yeah, weren't they the Reyes Magos? Weren't they they call
Yeah,
them the
yeah, the
Reyes
Reyes
Magos?
Magos, yeah.
Yeah, so interesting, but also so amazing because Christmas break is 3 weeks
Yeah,
long.
it's like
Yeah.
so long.
You just never go back to work. It's like And because yeah, it's on the 6th, like el Día de los Reyes, no? The
Yeah,
6th
the
of
6th is
January?
that, and so that's on a Tuesday, so we go back to work on Wednesday.
Yeah. And, it's funny because like, New Year's Eve is also a time where people in Spain have dinner again with their families, which I found interesting because here in the States, you just go party with your friends basically or with your
But it's
partners and the
a huge family holiday here, so the
big
fam
dinner again. Yeah.
big dinner, but then you go out with your friends. So you have dinner, a huge dinner with your family, and then you watch the ball drop or whatever on TV, have your grapes, whatever. Don't choke on that, right? Your champagne, and then the friend groups get together at, like, 1 o'clock in the morning. It's like they
Yeah,
all go
you
out,
go
they get
out
together
right
at one
after
o'clock, and
that.
they meet at, like, 1 o'clock, and then they're
Yeah.
out until, like, 8 o'clock in the morning, and they, like, go crazy, so
Yeah.
and then the crazy thing is that the 1st of January, New Year's Day, you have a huge dinner with your family again. Like,
Yeah,
imagine
lunch.
having
Yeah. It never ends, dude.
Yeah.
Never ends. Yeah, and then Reyes as well.
Okay, and then on Reyes, on the 6th of January, the tradition is to have a what's called a roscón. So it's like a round circular cake
Mm.
with, like, cream
Yum.
stuffed in the middle. So again, there's, like, stuffing your face.
And the interesting thing about roscón is that there are little figurines in the cake, like
Yeah.
so there I forget what some of the figurines are, but when you get the bean, it means you have to pay for it.
Yeah, you pay for the next one, I guess, like, the next year if you eat a bean. I think
Yeah.
there's, like, the baby Jesus might be in there.
Yeah, I think so
So
too.
and, like, a
Yeah, a
king or
king and a
something. I'm
baby
like,
Jesus. Yeah. They
I
bake it
could be
into the
wrong.
cake. Yeah, and if you hit the bean part, then you pay for the next one. Yeah, that's so funny. Yeah, and also just to point out, like, Christmas time in different provinces is different because in the Basque Country, you don't have Santa Claus,
Mm-mm.
you have Olenchero. Do you know anything about Olenchero and,
So
like, Mari Jaya was
that's the
fiestas of
Marihaya's the Bilbao fiestas, like the summertime
yes, I gotta
parties
look her
in
up.
Bilbao. So what I know about Olanchero from my students is that he's just this like guy who lives up in the mountains. I kind of have a funny story about this actually. So he lives up in the mountains and he just like puts like a sack of presents over his shoulder and just like walks down the mountain and brings, you know. I was asking one of my students, it was like a class of like 7-year-olds, and I was talking about Santa Claus, and they're like, no, we don't have Santa Claus. We have Olanchero. I was like, oh, cool. Well, tell me about Olanchero. And then I said, you know, we leave milk and cookies for Santa Claus at night, and we leave like carrots for the reindeer. I said, do you leave milk and cookies for a Olanchero? And she goes, no. And I was like, well, what do you leave for him? She goes, whiskey.
That's
Okay, okay.
hilarious. Olenchero is like your typical
Yeah.
Basque dude just like walking near your house with a sack,
Just smoking.
carrying a stick, smoking a pipe,
Yeah. And
which
he
is
drinks whiskey
hilarious because
apparently.
he looks so Basque.
Yeah.
Um,
That's
and they
hilarious.
have a parade in Bilbao. I think it's on Christmas Eve where they have, it's kind of like those parades we have. They
Yes.
have the big ass figurine. What are they called?
I don't
The big
remember, but that's probably why you were thinking of the Marihaya or whatever, because she's like that too. Like
Yeah,
those big like
Olenchero is
puppet
a
type.
character in Basque Christmas tradition. He comes to town. Yeah, just it's kind of like Santa Claus.
Very similar to Santa, but he doesn't have the reindeer and he's not very jolly.
Yeah, because he's drunk as
Doesn't seem
shit.
very jolly. And he likes
And then
whiskey.
yes, Marihaya is the iconic, cheerful, blonde, giant female figure symbolizing Bilbao, Spain's Aste Nagusia Big Week, which means Big Week festivities. Yeah. So in Bilbao, you have last week of August is the big festival, all the parties of the town, and
Which
she
is
is like the
amazing.
symbol.
If anybody is looking to party in the summertime, go to the parties in the Basque Country, especially
And
Bilbao.
she's hilarious looking. I'm just going to
Yeah,
share screen really quick on
nice.
her. But yeah, she's basically the representative of the fiestas, like town parties. And that's another cool thing about Spain is that every pueblo or town
Yeah.
and city has like their week of festivities or parties. And yeah, Bilbao's is the end of August. But
Right, so most
here
people are
she is.
familiar with the running of the bulls, um,
Yeah.
but that happens in almost every town in Spain. Not on that level, but to a certain extent, that's basically what the festivities or whatever fiestas are like. But
They have stalls set up with food and different areas where there's music and concerts. Sometimes you get famous bands and things that come into town and
yeah,
play. And I think we always had like, what was the guy? Danny. He was in a, God, what was that guy's name? From El Canto Loco or something?
I think I know
Danny.
what you're talking about. And then they
Damn
broke
it.
up, and it was like a big deal.
Danny Martin. He was always
Yeah.
the one that was, it wouldn't be El Canto de Loco. It would be him. And he was like washed up by that. Or
Well, then
like Carlos Baute.
I think I'm thinking of someone else then. Yeah, okay, okay.
Yeah, Danny Martin, yeah.
Mhm.
Gosh, so Christmas, I will say, just to point out that having lived in Catalonia and also having a Catalan boyfriend for a little while, that Christmas time was not olenchero. It was completely different. It was, well, they had Christmas, but a really big tradition in Catalonia is really funny is cagatillo, and I'm not sure
Is he,
what
like,
it is.
similar to
Cagatillo is a beloved, whimsical Catalan Christmas tradition featuring a log with a face and a hat that poops presents for children after being fed and then beaten with sticks. Can you believe that? So you get a log, you put a face on it, then in the back you put like a cape over like the end of the log where he like poops, and then the children beat it with sticks and it poops out presents for them. Isn't that fucking weird?
Yeah. That's, it's a little psychotic if you think about it.
How did anybody come up with this? Like, here's what the logs look like. They do often put them by the soca tronc. Yeah. It's a character in Catalan mythology relating to a Christmas tradition practiced in Catalonia and then other regions, obviously. Um,
I
it's
mean,
just,
I guess if you think about it, it's similar to a piñata, but I just feel like you're putting a face on the log so he looks like a cute little guy, and then you beat him to that. Like a piñata doesn't usually have like a face. It's just kind of a
he poops out things like oranges and little gifts, candy and nougat. That's one thing I love about. I love nougat so much, and nougat is a big thing in Spain.
yeah, it's a lot of nougat. But your vision board says less sugar.
I know.
Just
Oh my
kidding.
gosh, I almost ordered so much ice cream last night because I wanted sugar so bad.
Ice
I
cream's
didn't
good.
do it. Instead, I defrosted some frozen all-natural strawberries and then put sugar on them.
Oh, good, good. Well, at least you knew
Way
how much
better than
sugar.
ice cream.
Way better, way better. Yeah,
But then I was like, well, if I'm doing this tonight, I'm having a bagel in the morning.
exactly. Just go all the way. Delish.
Anyway, cagatillo, olenchero, those are just
There
like
you go.
Christmas traditions. We kind of talked about fiestas in different pueblos, which is so funny because you could basically all starting in like when does it start? Like April? Well, I guess April is more Semana Santa, which is a
Right.
different
Which
tradition, but
yes, which
starting
can
in
be
end of May through September, even October, you can find so many different places where they have their like town parties.
yeah, it's
I
really
love it.
fun. I even like the littler town parties, when it's like a really
Mm,
small town. Those are pretty
yeah.
cool too to go to.
Then Algorta. Is it Algorta? There are a couple in Las Arenas and Algorta.
Yep.
Algorta does the what's the name of that dish? They
What do
do
you
the
mean?
cook off with the marmitaco. They do the marmitaco
Oh,
thing
yeah, I
in
forgot
Algorta.
about that. Yeah.
Yeah.
And they also have
So
paellas, right? Or something?
mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm. And those are common in places like Valencia and in Catalonia as well. But marmitaco, I'll never forget because when I was getting divorced, kind of, I remember a friend, I won't name her name because we're no longer friends, a fellow American friend that I lived with was dating a Basque guy, Ibai, who is a good friend of mine, and we kind of got pulled into his inner circle. That is how Megan met her husband, was through Ibai,
Mm.
because what's her husband's name again?
Alvaro.
Alvaro. Alvaro and Ibai were like good friends in the same cuadrilla. And I think they met at a marmitaco.
Mm.
So we were invited and we like showed up to one of the parties. So they would have the friend groups would get these giant tents where they would cook the marmitaco. and you had to like reserve the place and you had to be a local. And it was like this big thing that the
Oh,
cuadrillas would do every year. And then there'd be like a little competition or something like that. And that would be happening all over Algorta and then down by the pier, which is really cool, where they'd set up like a
oh,
stage and have music and
cool.
like a DJ.
Yeah.
And we got invited. And I think that one of the years, and she can confirm, is how she met her Alvaro,
Her hubby.
her hubster. But that was always a really fun Pueblo tradition.
Yeah, definitely. They got some really good parties going on.
Yes. What else? Let's talk about Semana Santa. Do you remember seeing your first Semana
Yes,
Santa?
and it was very scary. So what happened was the first year I was actually in the Basque Country, I was doing my study abroad, and spring break, we decided to go down south where Semana Santa, spring break, whatever, is huge because they're a lot more religious down south than they are up north. So they have these parades, but they're like these like dark, solemn parades, and the people walking in the parades, their outfits look like the KKK. So they're not white per se, like they're not all white. They're
Well,
like,
it depends, and I'm just going to show a picture because
yeah. Well, they
most regions.
so they are white.
No, they are. There are some that I think in Bilbao they're like black or purple.
Yeah, I remember the purple. I remember the purple. Yeah. Man, it's even seeing them now. I know it has nothing to do with the KKK, and I'm sure the
It
KKK like
doesn't.
stole it from them or something, but my God.
Isn't it wild? Yeah,
Yeah.
it is pretty frightening. And I'm not actually sure what the costume means, but I do think and if we research the KKK, I would say that it probably comes from a form of religion and
Oh, sure. Yeah. I
the
think they're very
Catholicism.
Christian. Yeah.
So I don't know why, and that's something to look into, but I'm sure that the KKK stole
Yeah.
some kind of like part of Catholicism to represent their
Right.
racism. I don't know. But
Just,
I do remember, and they have these really solemn parades where they're like walking down the streets, playing music, playing the drums. It is not like a happy sounding thing. It looks like a procession. It's a procession, but it
mhm.
looks like a procession of a funeral, and they're
Yeah.
carrying
Yes.
statues of Virgin Mary, um, Jesus on a cross, things
And
like that.
they're, like, really heavy, right? So, like, the people carrying them, it looks like they're, like, struggling to carry it, they're, like, in pain.
Yeah.
And people are,
Here's
like,
a
crying. It's like, "Jeez, man, I'm here to, like."
People, yeah, it's super religious because
That was so
obviously
fun.
Spain is a Catholic, still largely
Yeah,
very Catholic country.
yeah.
And
My
so they
God.
have these processions on Semana Santa. I will say, like, our generation and different places, like, there are people who they're not opposed to it, but they don't, they're not super into Semana Santa. And like,
Yeah.
it is a very religious celebration.
It's not spring break in Mexico, that's for sure.
Oh my gosh.
Cancun.
I love spring break in Mexico, but
Me too.
somebody always dies. So I don't know what's worse.
But
Pretty crazy stuff.
yeah, but
Anyway, I mean, there's little traditions that we kind of touched on, like having your Sunday morning Benito,
yeah,
and the
I did.
Marianito, but
Yeah, we
go
wanted to
ahead.
talk about that, like, the food and the drinks and how people are so strict about what you can have when, and, "Oh my god, are you gonna have a coffee now?"
Before dinner or before lunch?
"Before lunch, you're gonna have a coffee." "No, we have a coffee after lunch, not before," and I'm like,
You're like, shut up, Sergio.
"Listen, man, I
I'm
just
trying to
feel
get
like
caffeinated right now.
I just feel like." And then with the wines, I remember one time, I think it must have been a Saturday or a Sunday, kind of around, 11-ish, noonish, and we were going out for wines, and I felt like having a red wine, and everybody about had a heart attack. They're like, "You can't have a red wine. You can have a white wine or like a clarete, a blush pink, what do we call it? One of those wines or whatever?"
Rose.
Red, a rosé, yeah, red, and I'm like, I feel like
What time
having
was it?
I think it was noon,
You're like, it was like 7 a.m.
yeah, no, but I mean, it was when you go out for vinos, wines before
Right.
lunch, and usually people are having,
That's
like, white
weird.
wines and
I've never had that problem because
uh,
I think if it's a Saturday or Sunday when typically all the families go out in the streets for a walk and go downtown and have the before lunch benito or whatever. I mean, think of the chiquiteros. And we've talked about chiquiteros, but
yeah,
when I worked in Guernica, which is the epicenter of
right,
Basquelandia, I would have a group. They were called chiquiteros. Chiquiteros probably originates from something else, but it's usually like a group of old men who go from bar to bar and have like a surito, a little tiny portion of beer or a little tiny portion of wine.
And I feel like they would have red wine, right, too? I don't know,
Yes,
maybe right? That's what I
dude,
thought,
they
I was
were
just like,
alcoholics,
maybe.
okay? They they were full-blown drunks, and, they would come at 9 in the morning on a Saturday or
Oh
Sunday
my god.
and start drinking wine, and usually they make their rounds around all of the town to every single bar, and they sometimes come back to your bar, and they would be hammered.
Not
This
good.
is what old retired men sometimes do in these old, like, traditional towns,
Yeah, yeah.
probably in Italy and Greece and France too.
And what about your cocktail? Didn't you have a cocktail story
Oh my
where
god.
people were like, "You can't have
Well,
a
I just
cocktail
will
right now?"
never forget an incident. I mean, I've been living in Spain for I don't know how long, like 7 or 8 years already, but I guess I was going with an ex-boyfriend to Barcelona and we met up with for dinner. You know, we were all dressed up and we went out for dinner and then we were going to go out a little bit. We met his cousin and his girlfriend at the time and we went to this nice restaurant and we sat down and the waitress came and asked us what we wanted for drinks, and I wanted to order a cocktail. And everyone at the table laughed at me and like, "Oh, what do you mean a cocktail while you have dinner? Like, you do that after a copa after dinner." Like, telling me like I didn't know what I was doing or I
Yeah.
didn't understand the customs there. But honestly, first of all, Barcelona is a huge city where you can do whatever the fuck you want. Okay. And second of all, if I want a goddamn cocktail with my dinner, which
Like,
is very American, people have cocktails at
yeah,
dinner.
you go to the bar before dinner, everybody has a cocktail, you go sit the martini or something, you go sit down,
Yeah.
like
Or sometimes people drink their cocktails with their food.
exactly, they take it to the table with them, and you're an adult, like, I'm not a child.
I was like mortified. I just remember being really embarrassed because they made me feel really bad about it. And I'm like, also remind PSA, I'm American. Okay. So different traditions, but
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm sure like now it's probably a little bit different. This was quite some time ago, but
Mm.
I was like, sorry, I guess I'll have some fucking sangria. Jesus. God, I don't even want the sangria. I just want the cocktail.
Oh, it's so funny though, it's so funny.
Yeah.
No, I think I already talked about this too but I can't remember about your attire also, like, one time I was kind of
Mhm.
embarrassed because it was, like, a Sunday and when people go out and get wines and pinchos
Mm.
and stuff, so I'm thinking, it's a Sunday, I'm just gonna throw on a sweatshirt and, like, jeans and my sneakers, chill, that's
I
all I
will
do.
say one thing that you do keep that's very American is you know how to dress down, like
Oh,
your
yeah.
tracksuits and stuff, which in England, like, and America, people are in their yoga pants, their workout clothes, like pajamas, tracksuit, the whole 9 yards. Spain, taboo,
Yeah, yeah.
right?
They were like, "What are you wearing?" Because everyone was, like, dressed to the nines on a Sunday, and I'm just like, "What are
You're in
you
like a
wearing?"
sweatpants and a sweatshirt.
And, like, sneakers.
You must love coming back to the States.
I still well, the thing I like about Victoria, though, is and especially where I live in Victoria, it's really everybody dresses down. So that story that I was telling you about was almost 20 years ago in, like,
Yeah.
Algorta, the center of
I think
Algorta,
it's changed.
yeah,
Yeah, younger generations are, like, out here in their, like, tracksuits a lot. It's just, like, social media movement as well. People
yeah,
are just into that casual
I think it's
get my gosh, yeah, I forgot about that, like, you really do not have a lot of Saturday, you're going to get a wine, do not wear your sweats.
no,
That's what I
no.
love about here, wear your yoga pants and go get brunch.
Nobody care yeah, I know, nobody cares. Now, if I
Um,
go into the center you're right, if I go into the center of Victoria on a Saturday or a Sunday, now I know, to get wines or whatever, I will dress up a little bit. But if I stay in my neighborhood, I don't. It's if you're in the center and you kind of have to
yeah.
dress a little nice.
Yeah, absolutely, like, I mean, look at the youth these days, just kinda rolling out of bed. Look at Justin Bieber, what he wears. I
I
mean,
know, right? Just
he's a millionaire, and he's rolling out of bed looking like
yeah,
he needs a makeover. Anyway, I
definitely.
guess we should wrap things up.
Wrap it up.
It's always sad to say goodbye,
I
but
know, but
it
that
was
was
great
fun.
chatting. It's good at chatting with you.
Yeah.
I would like to tell everyone that we'd love to hear from you. As we mentioned at the beginning of the episode, please like and subscribe this episode if you're watching on YouTube. And please write to us at podcast.foreignish@gmail.com, podcast.foreignish@gmail.com. We love to hear your stories. If you want to be a guest on our show, also mention that in your email. Thanks for joining.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Peace out.